Okay, we're going to look at how to solve number trios today. And one thing to remember when we're trying to solve number trios is the inverse, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about inverse later, but the inverse is the relationship between adding and taking away, or subtraction. It can also be multiplication and division, but in this case it's going to be adding and taking away. And that if you know an adding fact, then you can easily work out the inverse, or the opposite, the subtraction fact. Okay, so if in our number trio we have a 15 and a 3 on the bottom, for example, okay, all we're going to do is we're going to add these two bottom numbers together, 15 and 3, and we're going to pop 18 in the top. Alright, and then I can write a number sentence. I can write 15 add 3 equals 18, this side plus this side. I could do the commutative, which is when we swap the two numbers round. I could do 3 add 15 equals 18, which is fine, okay? Or I could work from the top down in my number trio. So I could start with 18, I could take away 15, take away this number, and I would be left with 3 on this side. Or I could start with 18 at the top, take away 3, and end up with 15, okay? So that is how I get my 4 number sentences in my number trio. Alright, now number trios are the easiest to solve when you have the two numbers at the bottom like we did there. We had a 15 and a 3, okay? Because all we do is we just add the two numbers at the bottom and we end up with our number at the top. Now, what we have here is we've got a number plus a number equals a number at the top, and we've swapped it round. Or we've got a number take away a number equals another number, or a number take away a number equals another number. Okay? Now, if, for example, I have a 19 at the top, okay, and a let's not do 15 again, we'll do 13 here. Alright, we can fill in the numbers in our missing number sentences to be able to figure out what this missing number is. Now we're not sure what this one is, but we can work it out. So we know that the two numbers at the bottom are going to equal the number at the top. So we've got 13 add this mystery number is equal to 19. We've got the mystery number add 13 is equal to 19. Or we could work it out using the inverse, using subtraction. We could work out that 19 take away 13 is equal to this mystery number. Or that 19 take away the mystery number is equal to 13. Now, we'll just rub all these out. They're all going to be the same number because in our number trio we have our 4 number sentences. Now, as I've discussed before, I really much prefer adding on. So I don't like taking away. It's not something that my brain likes to do. So I would much prefer to add on. So what I would do, this is just a strategy for me, is I draw myself an empty number line. I'd put 13 here and 19 here, and I'd just jump until I got there. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. How many jumps did I make? I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jumps. So I know that my missing number is 6. Maybe you know that when you have a 3, to get to 9 digits, you add a 6. So you knew that already. I know that's 6, so there we go. Or if your brain likes taking away, if your brain is saying, well, I have 19, I'll just take away 13. So I have 19, I take away the 13, so I take away the 10, which means I've got 9, take away 3. 9 take away 3 is 6. So I've got my 6 here. Okay? So we can solve our number trios in two different ways. We can add on, which is what I like to do, starting with the number that we have and adding however many we need to get to the top number. Or we can use the inverse, we can subtract, we can start with the total number, which is 19, take away the 13 and get to 6. Alright, we'll do one more. Okay, maybe this time I have 22 and 17. Alright, so what do we know so far? Alright, we know that this number plus this number equals our top number, so we know that 17 add something, this is our mystery number, add something, equals 22, which is our number at the top. We know that the mystery number add 17 equals 22, our number at the top. We know that 22 take away 17 is equal to our mystery number. And we also know that 22 take away our mystery number is equal to 17. Alright, so I think what we'll focus on the same two again, so adding on or taking away, right? So it's up to you, whatever works better for your brain. As I said before, I would much rather add on, so I'd rather start with 17 here on my number line and jump to 22. This time I know that I need 3 jumps to get to 20, and I need an extra 2 jumps to get to 22. So I know that my mystery number is 3 add 2, which I know to be 5. Okay, and we can double check with our taking away. So again, we could take away, we have 22, we're going to take away the 10, we'll end up with 12, and then it'll be 12, take away the units, which is 7, and if I count back 12, take away 7, I'm going to end up with 5 again. Okay, so we have our two options. Because the inverse relationship between adding and taking away, I know that if I know an adding fact or if I know a subtraction fact, then I can work out the opposite, the inverse. Okay, so that is how we solve a number trio. Very good.